The dad of murdered 5-year-old Logan Mwangi has paid emotional tribute to his son. Ben Mwangi separated from Logan's mum Ingrid Williamson after he was born. He had no idea Logan was being systematically abused by Evil Williamson and her brutal partner John Cole. Following their guilty verdicts for murder, he said, "Logan was the sweetest and most beautiful boy whose life has been tragically cut short. The world is a colder and darker place without his warm smile and the happy energy with which he lived his life. The hole that has been left in the hearts of all who knew and loved him will never be filled. No amount of time can heal the wounds that have been inflicted." Logan was just 5 when he was murdered. Image, PA. Logan was described as the sweetest and most beautiful boy. Image, PA. "The wonderful memories I have of my son will never be tarnished, they will forever be in my heart and soul. I loved him so much, and somehow I have to live my life knowing that I will never get to see him grow up to be the wonderful man he would have been. I would like to thank South Wales Police and the prosecution team who have worked tirelessly to bring those responsible for my son's murder to court. From all of us, thank you for doing an amazing job and for getting justice for my son." Evil killers Ingrid Williamson and John Cole were found guilty of murder today. Image, Wales News Service. Mr. Mwangi was living in Brentwood, Essex, when he met Williamson through mutual friends in 2009 or 2010 when she was working as a manager of Carphone Warehouse in Stratford, London. He next saw her in 2014 and they began a relationship which lasted 2.5 years. Mr. Mwangi said Williamson suffered an ectopic pregnancy, but later that year she became pregnant with Logan. During the pregnancy she suffered seizures. Giving evidence at court during the trial, he said, "On March 15, 2016, Logan was born in the Princess of Wales Hospital in Bridgend. Ingrid had been staying in Wales with Claire Williamson, her mother, and I was visiting." 0 seconds of 1 minute, 53 seconds volume 90%. Logan Mwangi. Police footage shows events on morning of death. "I was present when Logan was born and it was the happiest time of my life. I stayed with Claire for a few weeks, but I would clash quite a lot with Claire and did not think it was good for anyone, especially Logan, so I moved back to Brentwood with my mum and my first priority was to get work to support Ingrid and Logan, and I was able to financially support them. During that period I was in regular contact with Ingrid, who would call me and send me pictures of Logan. He was the cutest little boy. We were back and forth visiting each other, and after a few months Logan and Ingrid moved to live with me at my mum's address. It was okay at first, but our relationship deteriorated and we started arguing. In August 2016 she told me Claire was unwell, so she moved back to Bridgend and continued to live in Wales. Mr. Mwangi said contact with Logan was quite regular at first, but after Williamson married Jordan Hunt contact ceased. 3 years later Mr. Mwangi was in a pub in Essex when Williamson walked in and approached him out of the blue. He said, "She said she had been looking for me and wanted to see me to start contact again with Logan. Ingrid had a shaved head with hearing aids in. I had regular contact again with Logan through video calling and I met up with them in Sarn. He said, 'Hello daddy,' and threw his arms around me. I picked him up from school and we went to the park and had ice cream. Everything was going so well and we arranged to meet again. In 2019 he came up to Brentwood and met my dad and cousins. He loved Thomas the Tank and Paw Patrol and we would watch those together." Logan's dad paid an emotional tribute to him outside court. Image, Wales News Service. "When they were leaving, Ingrid told me not to get too emotional, not to upset Logan. This was the last time I saw Logan." Mr. Mwangi said the next day Williamson contacted her and told him they wouldn't be able to speak to each other as her new partner, Cole, did not think it was normal for them to still speak to each other. From then on Mr. Mwangi said he would speak to Logan over video call when he was staying with his grandmother Claire Williamson at weekends. He said, "January 2020 was the last time I spoke to Logan. Claire later told me she no longer had contact with Logan as Ingrid stopped her from seeing him. I didn't have contact details for Ingrid, so I have not spoken to or seen Logan since. I did not know where he was or how he was getting on in school, and that has tormented me. I had no concerns for him. He seemed highly content and seemed to be okay. His learning was coming on and he was an intelligent little boy. Read more. Logan Mwangi's mum and stepdad guilty of murdering boy found in river with 56 injuries. Read more. Vladimir Putin launches Satan II missile in warning to those who threaten Russia.